Oh well, we'll jump into this one. Hey guys, welcome back to Jaraci Cup 9, continuing to cover the group stage move to SickIGN versus rsabo M.E.S. My boy. I've been coaching him a little bit here. SickIGN, that is. In fact, let me give him a quick ping. Get in here, boyo. Casting, shiznit. It's gonna be on Canon Outpost, this game 1 here. Here's our new text document.txt. I feel like he definitely did that on purpose. SickIGN picking Coalition first, and rsabo picks Soban second. SickIGN picks Canyon alt. Excited to see this. Because AVs were trash. But yeah, I definitely agree. AVs with their 11 damage per shot. This is a bit of vanilla discussion going on, but... Sorry, I'm getting distracted. It is Coalition versus Soban, and this is kind of a fun matchup. rsabo M.E.S here playing Coalition and Soban pretty much entirely from what I've seen. Imagine being trained by a Gal player and playing Coalition. Hey look, I'm not really a Coalition main, you know that, but I know how to play it, right? I've been giving SickIGN a lot of tips on build orders and kind of like the macro sense, like what do I want to do with this army that I've got. I feel like his micro is a little bit lacking, but that can definitely improve with time. SC first looks like coming up from him. Pretty decent timing as well. Oh, that's actually a good timing. I was working on him quite a lot to try and get his timing to where he'd get it at 29:20, which I think is the fastest. Yeah, I think he's pretty close this game. He might even have been on it. I should have watched for that, but that's alright. And rsabo here looks like going to go for AV Rush. Fun build, we don't see it terribly much. He's actually built quite a lot of eco here and kept the base runner, so it's going to be a bit interesting to see AV Rush. With like the base runner retained here, especially because it's Soban, there's no idea for like turret drops here. But the probe is going to come out and see what it needs to see. Base runner sees the probe though, so probe going to try and make itself scarce there. Saw the carrier though, I'm pretty sure, so he probably knows what build it is. That's what AV Rush wants to see. Okay, he's going SC first. And obviously the idea for rsabo is hit him hard, hit him fast, right? Bring those AVs in and try and stop my opponent from just getting as much eco as he wants. As he recoils and tries to defend against my AVs, now I expand up onto 2 base and get my eco stronger than his. Get a bit of value that way. SickIGN actually moving a little bit aggressively with this base burn. This is something I usually recommend you don't do. He does have LAV Fab done now, and he's building them too. No probe deployed from him. I guess because he saw the probe from his opponent, he feels like he doesn't need it. In fact, it is AV Rush this game. But, he wants to have this base burner ready to set down a turret if he needs it. This is one of very strong facets of the Coalition faction, is that they can put that turret down and keep themselves safe. For now, it's carry production upgrade and LAV spam going to be coming out from SickIGN, but he'll want to maybe reconsider if he sees AVs out fast, which he will, of course. And an interesting move for rsabo, he builds 3 LAVs, but he paths them really far out to like the extremity of the map. And Canyon alt is an interesting map because there's a lot of air over here, right? Obviously, you know, he can come around and sneak in on the side, but I don't know what he's doing like this far out, to be honest. Base runner picked up from both factions, I guess. Both sides, though, both players. But SickIGN with no probe here still doesn't know about the AVs. He's going to see them just now, so I feel like he's got to back away from this. But he could try setting down a turret. The problem is just that if the targeting jammer gets put on the turret, you know, 300 CUs means nothing if it can't shoot, right? So yeah, he starts giving the ground here to the AVs, which is what he's got to do. 2 LAVs for nothing. But rsabo actually going to back away here, and I feel like that's kind of a mistake. He wants to just push in. Because remember, SickIGN passively has much stronger economy right now. What is going on with my headphones? They're like falling out of my face. And indeed, he's teching the rail fab too, so eventually this window closes, right? And rsabo really wants to get damage done while that window persists. I think he wanted to set a turret down here, but maybe he's just sacrificing this guy to the AV gods. He can try and like move it out here to buy a bit of time, or well, I mean, he may actually be able to get this thing out. No AV armor techs are done actually. Oh shoot, he's gonna be kicking himself for leaving that thing idle now. I think it definitely could have lived. But it does go down here. AV has a bit of high ground, you can see denoted by that blue plus over its name there. But no armor upgrades, it is kind of suffering here, and LAV armor 1 is done already, so these things are a little bit tankier than you would suspect. 1 LAV, 2 LAVs go down for 1 AV, that's going to be a good trade for SickIGN. He may even get a second AV here. Looks like he backs away though, just a tad too early, so it doesn't catch that one. But he's got rail tech done. And I would just build him right away. I mean, it's obviously what he needs here. Extraction going to come out from rsabo M.E.S, but again, that is some nice value in the early game to get that free extract. But if you're giving up eco for it, I feel like you're gonna be bitten in the end for it. You're gonna be bitten? What the crap am I saying? It's gonna come back to haunt you. It's gonna come back to bite you. That's the expression. Yeah, I will personally come to your house and bite you. What's wrong with me, guys? That's okay though. Oh no. Oh jeez. Extraction does come out from rsabo though, so he's got that value, right? Rails are out though. SickIGN moving his carrier. Oh, I see. He's trying to actually heal that logistics module, but the healing comes from the side of the carrier, so it's a little hard to like get it into range, if you will. Okay, there we go. He's gonna heal up that logistics module now. Railguns are here though. Now they have the armor break, which means that the LAVs can do effective damage against the AVs. You can see one of them gonna go down already here. Really nice smoke by rsabo, but it looks like it might just not be enough. He does get one salvager though, going for a second here. He catches it. But again, imagine the damage that this could do before these railguns were here, because the armor break makes a huge difference against those AAVs. 2 salvagers dead, you know, not terrible value for 2 AAVs, although it does feel a little bit weak. But at this stage of the game, feels tremendously weak, because he's also... I mean, he's going to be contesting with 3 base in a moment here. Yeah, this is a little bit rough for rsabo. I was wondering if he techs now into air, but off of 1 base it feels weak again. I think he really just needs to get his eco set up here. But instead, going for Assault Pack now. Second artifact picked up, so he wants to kind of focus that down. LAV upgrades continue for SickIGN. He loves this LAV rail style, that's really what he likes to play. And it's worked for him so far. He doesn't try anything fancy in the early game, just get his eco set up, goes into LAV rail, and if AV Rush is not going to be executed correctly, I feel like this is definitely a strong build. Right now, he's really just, he doesn't care about anything. He's just driving straight in with this railgun. Look at this. There is targeting jammer ready to deploy here. He's kind of regretting it now. He loses that thing almost instantly. That's why you don't do that normally. How much armor do we have? Just armor 1 here. These are almost fully upgraded LAVs, so I mean, 1 on 7, yeah, not going to be a fight that AV can win. Obviously, you can see. Doesn't even really get any damage done either. He pulls these guys back really dramatically as well. I mean, you could have sent like 1 LAV there and won this fight, I think. Not to mention, you know, rsabo does not have any upgrades and you've got almost full, so he's gonna let that extract get out though, is what I've kind of got my eyes on here. He comes back to deal with this with like the whole army. This extract really should not have been able to get through, but it does. And rsabo moving up on a 2 base finally. He's already getting the 3rd carry production line though, and that feels really just preemptive, or not preemptive, but like too early to me. I feel like you can't really do that. Oh, what the heck? My thing is broken. Oh well. That's don't worry about that. SickIGN here, by the way, should have been on 3 base for a long time now, but he's actually got these guys idle on the 3rd base there, so touch awkward. But he does have a pretty nice split of railguns here. He's not going to lose any eco to that AV there. Let's take it down. Gets his guys back to work there. You can justify this. I should get a camera. You'd like my sarcastic faces I make when I'm casting. And AV fab coming out from him now. This is probably just for the armor upgrades on the railguns, to be honest, but we'll have to see. Armor upgrades on rails, of course, very, very strong against AVs. And rsabo just taking some unit upgrades here. He's only got 1 guy on that 2nd base, so he might as well still really be on 1 base. It looks like SickIGN finally ready to make the push across the field here. Obviously, that base runner could still extract. I feel like he does want to deal with this eventually, but this, I assume, will just be the game, because he's got a much stronger army here. He's got the tech lead, he's got the numbers, he's got everything he needs. Upgrades, right? I mean, you name it. Only thing he's doing wrong, I think, is he's still floating quite a lot. I mean, I would get that production upgrade if I were him. Because he's on 3 base, right? I mean, you can get a lot of LAVs like this. And he is going to go through a bit of a spending phase here, but definitely getting that production upgrade would be worth, I think. Not to mention, another SC, unlock the carrier, bringing it out to the front line, that would be strong too. This is a map where it's a little difficult sometimes when the game is even to bring your carrier out, because if you move this way, carrier is a very strong defensive bulwark and it doesn't cover the chokes anymore, but if you've already passed the chokes, just bring your carrier over. I mean, this is a great window to do it, so... ALM deployed there just to buy a bit of time, but I think we know how that's gonna go. I've done enough tirading against ALM spam, don't need to talk about that anymore. Drops another one though. He's actually target firing the carrier here. It's an interesting move. Well, only because I coach him, you know what I mean? I want to see him do better than this. He's prioritizing the carry. I mean, like I said, his micro can be a little bit missing sometimes. There we go. It does retarget onto the LAVs there. Loses 2 rails though. I feel like he didn't really need to lose, but he's still in a good place here, army-wise. Fighter and gunship tech done now for rsabo, but this is very low tempo, and a lot of LAVs here means he does actually need. I mean, he basically needs like double gunship to really fight this. These guys have damage too as well, so they really bite. Gonna back up onto that one base. There's that extract though, again, 3rd artifact. I mean, this is starting to get a little bit too far, I'd say. He's got LAVs to spare. Just send a couple of guys over there and deal with it. But being a little bit lazy, you know, we've all been there before. Interesting dune layout here. I didn't realize actually there's kind of an isolated pocket of like line of sight in this corner here. So can't really shoot with those railguns, but I did see he got one shot off. But gonna want to just bring them over to this hill here probably. But for now, he pretty much forever can deny that second base. He had a money lead before, but it's only going to expand now, and he does have an SC on the way, which looks to me he's planning to expand to his opponent's 3rd base. Oh, the BM. Yes, I love it. I was like, well, he's going to unlock his carrier. Why is he building salvagers? Assault cruiser fab on the way, by the way. Again, though, a carrier production upgrade is ready, and this would be very strong. If you got this much money, you really got to spend it, especially if you're going to go on a 4 base, which I love again, but... Here's that gunship, though. Now, he does have armor 2 on the railguns, which is very fortuitous, because they're going to take a lot of damage from this gunship, but it will be mitigated quite a bit by the armor. But it looks like he's actually going to go for the LAVs here. Again, let's see, look, these LAVs have damage too, and there's a lot of them, and this gunship actually dies. Wow, I don't think it even got more than 2 kills there it might have gotten. Yikes. Strike fighters, though, are going to start harassing the railguns. And SickIGN does need to get some kind of an anti-air option, but what he can use is SC anti-air and build a couple of them if he doesn't have time to tech, or AC anti-air. And at either rate, though, I mean, production upgrade would be great, but armor 3 would be big here, too. HP boost, armor boost, you know, is going to do wonders against the gunship against the strike fighters. Yeah, I agree. Double gunship would be stronger, for sure, because then you start getting kills, and you can also micro the one who's getting shot out of the fight. For now, though, I don't know why this SC is idle. This is a great place for it to be here. Get a bit of anti-air on the field, right, and then start repairing your wounded guys. Assault cruiser fab done now. Wouldn't be surprised to see this. This might be a tech he really goes for. But for now, he's going to queue it. Of course, that does take more time to build it than to get the techs. That's obviously the right way to go. He may instead just go into missile battery fab if he wants to. It looks like the carry production upgrade is on the way now. SC is here. A lot of LAVs. But he will start losing salvagers here, I imagine. rsabo wants them. It looks like he's just going to go in on the railguns for now. Smoking up here, he wants to make a push with the AVs. There's no way he wins this, though. He really does not want to try and take this fight. Actually, a strike fighter goes down to the support cruiser anti-air as well, the passive support cruiser anti-air. All the AVs are dead, as I expected. He just comes up here and heals up. He's fine. Didn't lose any salves either. So that 4th base is secure. And I mean, when your opponent's got 4 base, you really gotta reevaluate your life. Again, though, look at this space runner extracting. I mean, this... In fact, it drove to the extraction zone without an artifact in hand, which is unfortunate. This would be the game-winning artifact if he hadn't done that. I mean, SickIGN, you gotta deal with this. Just don't let him extract like that. You have, like, 500% field control. No reason to let him get away with this, right? There's no reason at all. This space burner has to die. I'm sorry, you have to die. Assault cruiser anti-air is on the way here, so this AC is going to be in position to provide some anti-air screening. My guy, this is 3 out of 5. I mean, if he gets this one out, he hasn't been paying attention to that at all. He could, like, lose the game. Okay, here we go. He is going to bring the LAVs over. Aye. Makes me nervous, though. Kill him now. He's got boost as well, right? No, it looks like he's already used that. Air, though, it's still going to do some damage on this flank. But when the assault cruisers get there, he will have some actual anti-air, so he'll be doing a lot better than he was before. You can see it takes a while to kill this gunship here, but the LAVs are actually just going to kill it passively. He kind of just runs it down there, so... Down goes the gunship. Still no salvagers killed on this second base here. Sport Cruiser Anti-Air is going to be cute in the end. And this AC here already getting quite a few kills just with that anti-air upgrade. Base Burner looks like will be denied here. May get out, but I don't think so. Boost used again, so he's going to get there speedy quick like. And I love that clinking sound it makes when the bullets start hitting it. You can't hear it too well because the LED is like on top of it. That's a lot of LAV. Down goes the artifact. No 4-5. 4 out of 5. You know, no match point there. So, game point. Gosh, sometimes words work and sometimes they just don't. Fab started up here for rsabo M.E.S. Actually, I think that's more what SickIGN needs. He's got enough ACs now to build rails and siege down that carrier. But he's definitely taking his time. I feel like there's a bit of BM in here, which I like. He's kind of styling on him just a tad. Attack Missile Barrage coming out now. rsabo M.E.S going to be having flashbacks to the last series that we cast, obviously. Air going to launch, but again, we do have anti-air in the field now. In fact, his Sport Cruiser anti-air just finishing. Look at that. Very nicely timed. Starts getting some hits off. One of the ACs goes down there, but this carrier is pretty low. It's looking like an F2 click moment, you know, just send the LEDs against that carrier, because they will get that kill eventually. One more rail shot on to do it, but it looks like actually this guy promoted to captain for getting that shot into the bridge that blew everything up, so Star Wars style. Very nicely done then for SickIGN. Taking that 4th base, I always love to see it, so you know I'm a fan of that crap. But he takes game 1 in a very easy manner, I'd say. I mean, the artifact extraction was a little awkward, he just let him get 3 of them out for nothing, but like... because definitely once he got like the first one out, he has field control. You should never let your opponent extract for nothing. But yeah, I mean, he just went SC first, and his opponent really did not punish it at all. Felt like an easy win for SickIGN. Loading at game 2 then, we are going to have a faction swap here, as per the info.txt. rsabo M.E.S picking first this time takes Sawan, SickIGN takes Galzian as his faction, and rsabo picks the Shallows. A map of my own creation. Although it could do some testing to see if it needs a bit of work. The idea is to flip the extraction zones, we're thinking, where the green team wants to extract here and the red team wants to extract there. But it's a fun map for sure, though. I mean, obviously I'm inclined to say so because it's mine, but definitely a map where like early aggro can work, but it can also get shut down really hard. I mean, it feels a bit risky to take, because my idea was that, you know, if you get up behind your opponent here, you've got like permanent high ground, right? Well, not really permanent, there's the map border right there, so it's kind of an interesting kind of gameplay that I think this promotes. For now though, SickIGN playing Galzian, obviously this is his off faction. I think he's kind of noticeably weaker on this one. And I think this is ref mode first here that he's doing. He keeps the base runner though. You generally want to send this base runner out to the other side if you're going to keep it. Drop a scanner and see what your opponent is doing, because you want to get that information, like what's the play by my opponent here, so that I know how much defense to build. It's always a thing in these greed builds that you're trying to say, like, how greedy can I get without dying, right? Scanner instead going to be deployed in a bit of a milquetoast position, I'd say. This doesn't really give him any more information than his PC is going to give him already. At least if you're going to drop it close, I'd say probably put it like right here, up tucked in the corner, so it gives you vision of people coming up this hill before they get there, but it's also not likely to be picked off in the early game. Looks like a little bit of greed coming out for SickIGN then. And like I said, he can check to see if he's safe to do this by bringing that scanner out, but instead he's going to just go for a couple more salvagers being produced before he gets skim fab. But he may regret that, as we do have LEVs coming up to the field now. Let's see if he cancels anything for this. Looks like no cancels going on. So he is going to get skimmer fab started soon, I would hope, but he is going to take some pressure by these LAVs here. May lose a couple salvagers. I feel like rsabo for some reason right now prioritizing the PC, but this could definitely be salvager kills if he wants it. That would be big value. I would take this for sure. Instead, you're going to focus. Oh my gosh, SickIGN is asleep apparently. You know, this PC could actually die. Oh my gosh, what is he doing? I mean, this is just inexcusable. Get this guy out of here. What Oh my gosh, he's gonna lose his PC to just like 4 LAVs. He's even got basement or heal on it, so he knows this is happening, but he's just not doing anything about it. Oh, and he queues up a bunch of units. This is bad because when a PC dies, anything it queued, the money is just lost forever. Oh my gosh. And I think it's clear his Galzian could use some work. Doing a bit of eco-suicide here as well as he brings the carrier down. Can obviously not be mining off his first base fluently in this case then. And rsabo gonna be like, okay, I guess I'll take it. Production upgrade coming up for him then. He doesn't even have production upgrade, he just kills the PC for nothing. That's insane. Ay, ay, ay. That's bad. I will be a Galmain, SickIGN. Yeah, not looking like it yet. He's got a bit of work to do if he wants to build that up. I often mention how Galcian is a bit harder to play. This isn't really what I mean, though. I mean, this should never happen. I don't know what he's moving his carrier for either. You just leave him here. Railgun, you don't have a PC? Okay, there we go. He does start the PC up. And at this point, he needs to get power reserves, too, because you know your opponent is going to try to capitalize by killing your eco on the backline. Oh gosh, because these LEVs can dive, right? I mean, obviously the carrier has got some power. In the next patch, it's actually going to be a little bit nerfed, its base point defense. But, golly, man, I mean, this is not good. And again, moving this carrier, really freaking bad. If you have a PC here, you can do this, but if you don't, never do this unless it's either that or the game, because you're getting no money for this. This is really, really bad. This is what I call eco-suicide. Notice also that the salvagers try to drop off at the same location that they started, so if your carrier rotates, they'll kind of derp a little bit too, so... Yeah, the damage that you do to yourself for rotating and like moving around like that is huge. You can't do this. It's really, really bad. Not to mention, he's also got 500 CUs less than he should, because he lost that PC with a whole bunch of skims queued up in it, so... Thank you, Siiiick, for being the example of what not to do. Yeah, pretty much. And again, now these LEDs are probably ready to carrier dive this PC here. Has to power up the range. And Sandskimmer armor, no, you don't get that. You get power too, because you've gotta weather the storm now. You're way behind, right? And your opponent is gonna try to dive you under your carrier. Support cruiser comes out now for rsabo. He's a little bit slow actually to expand up onto his 2 base. He's building salvagers. Build units. You need freaking units right now. What are you doing? No. Ay, ay, ay. This is not good. This is not good. I didn't coach him for this, man. Because look, like he leaves his carrier now. These LEDs are just gonna kill his PC again. This is the worst possible way to play Galzian. Like, he does get a good det pack hit though. And rsabo is actually gonna hold up like on the carrier there, which is a little bit of a mistake too. Isn't that like an emote on this channel? Can't you like... Yeah, man. You gotta go like this. Anyway. I've sabotaged him in case he gets too powerful. Yeah, I told him that this is how you play Galzian. Oh, man. That emote, of course, lovingly crafted by the wonderful Azur Kai. Okay, man, you can still win from here, maybe, if your opponent makes a lot of mistakes. I mean, to be fair, he's actually really being slow about his eco. He's only got 1 second base self. So, this is maybe still winnable for SickIGN, but he's got a lot of repentance to do, I guess I'll just say. The fact he's so behind in StrikeCraft counts too means he probably needs to be building a second PC here. Either that or like Assault Ship Tech maybe he can do something here, but this ain't good. Production upgrade now done for rsabo. Oh, that's the second production upgrade. But again, see, he's on 2 base here, but like, is he really on 2 base here? I mean, it seems like he's only on 1, right? 3 production lines? I don't think that's sustainable, so you're probably gonna regret getting that tech at some point. Really better to just prioritize getting your eco up when you're ahead like this and you have time. Because right now, no pressure, right? You've got all this field control. Just go up to 3 base. It's easy to do and you'll win a lot of games like that. Sandskimmer rating coming out for SickIGN now. More salvagers. You really got to be building, I think, 2 PC right now, because this rating upgrade, it's not going to do all that much for you. Oh no, I mean, tell me he doesn't try to fight this. Even equal numbers, this is not a good fight, because it's all open ground. LAVs are going to be happy, and this is not equal numbers, so... Well, it almost is, actually, but... I don't think that's how you do it, Houston. Ah, you'll figure it out eventually. Sandskimmer rating done now for SickIGN. Fleet cap upgrade, I guess? Oh yeah, he was fleet cap this whole time, I didn't notice that. But now the salvager comes down to the low ground to try to mine. Again, what's the problem with this? Look, your opponent, like, once you're not by your carrier, that's free money, right? If he brings that PC down there, he probably will lose it again. And if he loses a second PC here, this is 100% game over, so... This is really bad play by SickIGN. There's no other way to say it. Railguns are out 2 now. So rsabo M.E.S has actually got some... rsabo M.E.S has actually got some ability to siege his opponent now. You know, really put some pressure on by having these LAVs here rather than just saying, hey, you can't go to 2 base, saying, hey, you're dead. Which I like. And he's playing Saban 2, so obviously this is the Windows Vista railgun here, but... Very powerful, obviously, it's the best railgun in the game. But armor break goes a long way, maybe? No, actually. Oh, yeah, because he does have armor too here. Oh, it's a tier 2 emo, yeah, I remember now. The problem is that, like, until you get enough subs, you can't put emotes on your channel that people can use. Because, like, I don't care if you're subbed to me, right? I do this for fun. But unfortunately, no one can use the emote unless they're, like, subbed. So, I think if I wasn't affiliate, though, they wouldn't be able to use it at all, so... A lot of LAVs here. SickIGN wants to use his carrier now, power up that range system as well. Oh yeah, but not only if you're subbed to like tier 2, right? Which who would spend extra money to be subbed to this channel, right? What the heck? Are rsabo M.E.S gonna bring his carrier out now? I don't know. I mean, just go up on a 3 base. You know, it's not hard to do, and like I said, you really will. You'll win big for doing that. It's a big deal to be up on 2 base or 3 base against like a 1 base opponent. Whereas this 1 base versus 1 base, you give him a chance to win. To be fair, he does have an SC coming out, but again, it's 1 salvager. This is not a second base. This is a quarter of a second base, right? So, and damage 2 coming out, you know, it's a little deceptive, this lead that he's got with the LAVs, because actually, these are powerful skims relative to the LAVs. Oh, you have to go again? Don't leave me, Houston. Well, that's fine. I'll see you around. Damage 2 finishing in 5 seconds. I think he's itching to take a fight here. He shouldn't win it, but I don't know. He might. I mean, Mark Target will come out on the railguns, and they do just have good accuracy against Strikecraft in general. Saban railguns do actually. I finally have had it confirmed to me by A-Game that they do have a hidden modifier that makes them more accurate against Strike. So, which is why he's hitting this salvager here. SickIGN with that damage 2 done, though. I mean, there's a way that this goes badly. He's trying to get high ground here. Saban carrier is here now, though. Again, though, no power on this. I mean, the Galzian carrier probably wins the fight right now. And he's got the R-Use tech power 2 as well if he needs it. So, I mean, this is actually... Power 1, by the way, on the way for rsabo M.E.S, but this is actually not a fight that rsabo wins, I don't think. Only if the railguns can be leveraged. SickIGN actually going to drive out to meet him here. So now the skins really kind of have to engage, I think. Because if you wait, you're going to be in trouble. He could still win this. But he's got to win the fight against the LAVs now. But look at this. He's going to actually get the high ground here. He passes through them. Oh, can't find any high ground, though. He does have that upgrade lead in a big way, though. It's close. I think at this point he just has to prioritize the rails, because he's going to lose that Strikecraft fight. He sees it too, so he prioritizes the railguns. This is damage 2. They're going to die really fast. If he can get all 3 of them, he may just win the game here. Oh, he's starting to focus fire the LAVs down again. He needs power 2 desperately. He's got a couple more skims, though, so he could still make this work if his opponent kind of lets him get through there with the LAVs. Again, Saban Carrier really does not want to be fighting like this, and power's not in the armor. He really needs power and armor here, too. Oh man, this could honestly still go either way. I'm very nervous now. I don't know. It looks like the railguns are just gonna win the day here for rsabo. But man, he is playing this exactly how he should if he wants to lose. This is like the one way that I feel like SickIGN could maybe have gotten back into this game. Again though, 2 PC would have been really big here because you outproduced those LAVs, you know. If he had the Strikecraft superiority, he would have won, I think, right here. Doesn't build that second PC though, and he is going to go down. Our rsabo M.E.S takes game 2 in a weird fashion, I'd say. This is maybe the messiest game I've cast in a long time. Remember, this is the guy who beat God Hates Weaves in JC8, but not the most impressive display here. But he does manage to take 1-1 at least. So these two players gonna tie for their series, and we'll move on to the next one.